Hello, and welcome to The Worm Show. I'm your host, Thorn Jules. Well, here we are. Feeding time at the Box of Life. We have just passed Trump's re-election, inauguration, all that nonsense. And in a way, it feels like not just the LA hills, but the whole world is on fire. But in this little microcosm, I have a bunch of little friends who are blithely oblivious and who are happily munching away. So I'm going to feed them. As you can see, I have lots of food actually, and I have some bedding as well that I have to decide. I've had some delightful strawberries this late in the season. It's got to be, I don't know, greenhouse, or I think some of them have been coming from down south. Somewhere or other where they are growing strawberries. We are absolutely in the dead of winter here in Ottawa. So we have a little fruit salad, which I'm going to put on at the very end. Because I noticed that, as you can see and as you've seen before, I tend to blend the food together in a food processor so that it's more accessible to the worms. But I think the last video or the video before that, I put down a little strawberry, and I think by the way that the, not so much the worms, but the little other creatures just went to town on the strawberry. I thought, well, I'll give you more. I have also made fresh food here. A whole bunch of banana peels and potato peels and a whole bunch of stuff that is absolutely fresh. And I am hoping that it will not mold. There's nothing in here that I would suspect would go moldy. I have some breadcrumbs from some really delightful but old crusty bread that I have here. It's like a little sourdough seedy bread. And then I have some, this will be actually a little bit of an experiment. I got rid of a fair bit of the pre-made food that I had in my freezer because I had a feeling based on my observations that the mold was coming from coffee grounds. That was potentially one of the places where it was coming from. So I got rid of most of the feed that I had that I know had coffee grounds in it. But then I had something like this, which, okay, I mean, I can smell it has some coffee grounds in it, but anyway, I want to try this. This is some of the old feed that I didn't throw out yet. I want to try it, and I'm going to try it in a little side over here, and I will feed the top box, but I've also decided I'm going to feed the bottom box as well. This may be one of my last feedings of the bottom box, but I want to make sure that I feed it enough so that the material and the bedding come up to up higher, because I want there to be more connectivity between the top and the bottom and the middle boxes. And I know that there's definitely still continues to be easy fluid continuity between the bottom and the middle box. So I'm very happy about that. So we'll get started. We'll move this out of the way. I'm probably going to consider the breadcrumbs as a kind of a, shall we say, bedding. I'll sprinkle them down. I'm a little bit worried that the breadcrumbs actually may be a source of potential mold. So that's one of the things I want to be careful of. Just going to have a look under here. I see that there are no, like, I'm kind of getting a Star Wars effect here. I'm almost feeling like I'm going to be shooting a movie. Okay. What the heck am I talking about? So, put this over to the side for a moment. And here we are. This is where the middle box is at the moment. We're going to zoom in and move things around. If you'll just forgive me the camera adjustment. Okay, So, what I'm going to do, I have a little container for this. I'm going to actually move this. Decided I'm going to move it to the top because the shirt that I had is completely finito. So I figured, well, what I will do is I will move it to the top. Move the one that came with the box, or the worms, I should say. That was very kindly donated to me by Candor, who I got the worms from. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Okay, so I think you can see there are some lovely little wormies on the top. They seem to be very happy. I have detected no mold, no presence of mold. I've been sort of kind of, checking a little bit, but really I haven't disturbed them all that much. And just from what I can see already, this is very healthy. And I've just seen a little wormy there. So like there's definitely, this is much happier, much happier than it was when they were all the when I had all the issues with mold. So that's really gratifying. Wonderful. Okay, so I think I will sort of spread this around generously. I feel confident that this stuff will be that shouldn't promote mold, but again, I will keep an eye on it. I really do feel like it must have been, there's a combination surely of the coffee grounds and some of the coconut it was like the refuse of some coconut oil infusions that I was doing with my crops that I pulled off of the balcony earlier or later last year. So when I did that infusion, I kept some of the grounds afterwards, the lees as you might call it, and I added that to some of the feed, and I think that was a gigantic mistake because it was like, I don't know, it didn't work. I don't think it was not a good idea. It's because of maybe because of the nutrient density of the coconut oil. Maybe, I don't know. If you know, tell me in the comments. I'd love to know. I'd really like to know where I went wrong. Okay, I'm going to add a bit of these. Although this feed actually already has some breadcrumbs, actually. But I want to put some down. Yeah, so I don't want the breadcrumbs to be a source of mold either. So I got to be careful with that. I don't want to... And if they're going to be... I'm going to leave the majority at the top to catch it out if that's the case. All right, and then I'm going to have a container here. How am I going to do this? And then just sort of get all this down. I don't want to do it too full. I suspect that I'll probably need, I'll probably have to do this again to get the desired density, and they'll have to go through it and mix it up themselves. Now, let's see how well it settles. Before I do that, you want to have a look at the bottom bunk? I don't know if I can catch any of these. Can you see? Can you see? Yes, you can. Yes. Yeah. That is funky. Okay. So yeah, there's still a lot of transfer between the two. Just pulling that up, I see there was about 6, 7, 8 worms that were transiting between the top and the bottom, so that's great. That fits okay. I think, okay, I think I'm gonna have to do this again. I think one more time, I think I will do that before I think I will be satisfied. Boy, that changes the dynamic a little bit, so I'll pull back. I think the next feeding I'll feed the top again, or the middle one again, and put more bedding into it. And then I think that'll create the connection, I think, much more strongly between the top and the middle section. Okay, so I think this is looking very, very good. Very, very good. Put this over for now. Okay, so this is the area that I kind of moved all of the gunky stuff that, you know, oh, and look, here's the remains of the strawberry. It's just the greenery. So I had moved sort of the gunky stuff here, and then I added fresh stuff here. Okay, that's where we're at. And so I think what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put my experimental feed down, or well, it's not experimental feed, you know what I mean? It is just the feed that I want to see if it's still viable. So I'm going to put a little bit of this stuff down. I know I'm putting stuff down on a lot of creatures, so I hope that they're not going to be too fussed because I've buried them. But yeah, I wanted to see how this feed does, because if it does okay, then I won't throw it out. But if it's a dud, then it won't do much damage. It'll just be over on this side. And yeah, it'll be a little bit easier to monitor. And I think actually I'll probably let this whole system run at least, I mean, I'm shooting this, what? I mean, I didn't do it on the weekend. I think it's a Tuesday, I'll tell you that. Oh yeah, well, it is the day after Trump's inauguration. And so I haven't, I didn't do it over the weekend. I didn't feed this over the weekend. I would normally come back and feed it again, like, you know, on this Saturday or Sunday. Here we are. Here we are. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm making it up. We'll see what happens. And yeah, we'll just I'll cross my fingers. So I think I'm gonna push on. I don't know. I'm like, maybe I should just stop and not put the rest of the stuff down. I don't know. I'm going to though, because I've kind of committed, haven't I? All right. So I may not have made enough bedding. I'm seeing that now, although at the time I thought, oh boy, this is a lot of bedding. Now I'm like, that's not enough. But anyway, we will soon see. Okay. And I will just have a little covering of that bedding there. And I think the last thing I want to do now, as I think about it, like, this is so close to being toasted. Wow, that's really neat. This is what's happened to this. Anyway, I'm gonna move some of it over here. And just I'll let it settle on top of there. And then I'll keep an eye on this area here. Okay, so that's the experiment. Let's hope it doesn't get moldy. I live in fear of mold now when it comes to this project. And I know that mold is not good in general. It's a horrible thing for people to have to live with. Anyhow, but we won't worry about that right now because we're only talking about food grade mold, I think. Still didn't want to breathe that stuff in though. Boy, it is gross. It really does seem gross. All right, I have a sense that I may not have made enough bedding. But that's okay because I can make more. I mean, I have lots and lots of paper shredded already, and more, always more that I could shred. I wasn't the best Boy Scout. I mean, I was a Cub Scout, I should say. I wasn't the best Cub Scout, but I did take it to heart, the old saying, always be prepared. So, in this case, I'm not quite prepared enough, but that's okay. That's okay. All right. Now, I want to put down this bread. Curious to see how they... I think they do enjoy it. I think I've put down that bread before, actually, now I think about it. It doesn't take long for stuff like that to lose its structural integrity and become amorphous. You don't really see stuff for what it used to be as it deteriorates. Oh, well, well. Look at that. Maybe I wasn't too off balance when it came to the amount of bedding I made. I'd still like it to be more, but that's not so bad. Okay, I'm really happy with that. Very happy with that. Make it rain. Or shall I say snow? Okay. Well. Now, I have this to put down. I think some of these, got a worm in here. Not just one. There's more than one, I think. Hello, wormy. There's your friend. And hello. Lovely. Boy, it's really hard for me to tell how in focus that would be. Okay. Alrighty. We have... I want to set this up as like a little... I don't know. I'll just pop it around. Rather unceremoniously, I suppose, but... Oh, I know that some of these bugs are going to get squashed, but they're going to get squashed by food, which seems a little, I don't know, on the nose maybe? Yes. We'll give them a little spritz. Oops. Jeez, I'm going to have to clean that up. Got berry juice on my wall just now, and I'm going to have to clean it up. That is for sure. It looks pretty good though, don't you think? I think that looks pretty good. I'd be happy if I was a worm in that. I think so. And last but not least, we will put the blanket back down. Oh, my neighbors are having a shindig, I should say. There we go. Definitely still room to add more bedding. And yeah, stick around for the next episode. Got some dishes to do. Thank you for joining me. If you've been all the way through this video and you've hung on tight, thank you so much. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And join us for the next episode. I don't know when it will be, but it will be. Ciao for now.